Chat, say what's up to Ludovic. Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll just do this from the beginning. Hello. Isn't it good to put faces to names? Guys,
and
how's this haircut?
With my new... Yeah. It makes for a good change.
Do you find yourself touching it all the time or what?
Yeah, it's so soft.
Nice. No, nothing weird or anything, but for reals, I kind of want to like reach into the screen and give you a good little rub there.
I saw my niece for the first time with the new haircut, and she's just traumatized. I told her like she usually likes to pat hairs and like.
Yeah.
But with this new haircut, she's just so perturbed.
Nice. Okay. Well, what we're gonna be doing today is we are. Hold on a sec. I was a swimmer in the high school. Listed. Bald head touches are real. Yeah, that's very true. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna have you just introduce yourself real quick to everyone who doesn't know you yet, and then introduce yourself, talk about what you do and what you mainly focus on for work and all that good stuff. Go.
All right. So I'm a photographer since 2018, and I'm mainly a programmer, but I do photo on the side. I have a few contracts with photography for sometimes events. I did one wedding, and I'm gonna do 2 more in the summer. I do mainly self-portraits because I can barely. I can almost never get some models, but these photos are some of the few where I had a model, so that's fine. And I'm just diversified in my photography, so I'm doing a little bit of everything. I know most people say you need to find a niche, but well, I want to try my hand at everything before I get to pick something. And since it's not my main job, so I can do that, so I enjoy diversifying myself. And yeah, that's it. I like to do some studio portrait lighting shot, and sometimes with natural lighting I'm just practicing with that too. And yeah, I live in Quebec, so I have 10 months of winter and a few days of summer.
10 months of winter? So what? Sorry, I didn't say hi, Boomer. What's up, Boomer? Okay, so how many months of summer?
No, it's not that bad, but I think it's more like 8 months of cold. And usually we have we've been lucky these last 2 years, but often we have barely like 10 days of like 30 degrees, and that's it.
Oh my god! So that's Celsius, though.
Yeah.
Okay. So good. So you're from Ontario, Canada, and you grew up speaking French?
Yeah.
And so English is your second language, but you speak really well.
Yeah, thanks.
So good job.
I read it all the time, but I barely never speak it. So yeah.
Barely. So like, where you live, your neighborhood, your town, things you do, everyone's speaking French.
Kind of, but it's close to like north of my town. It's just Amérindien. I don't know what in English it's, but it's like native Indian, like. But these people just speak English, or mostly speak English. But it's it's just the natives are not mixing that much, but we see them in commerce, and well, it's kind of a strange dynamic with this town.
Yeah, so you live near like Indian reservations or like native land.
It's not Indian, it's like yeah.
Oh, okay, cool, awesome. Well, so a couple weeks ago, I think it was a couple weeks ago, when I was still working mostly in Capture One, you sent me about 5 photos, and so I was really stoked to shoot them because, like you know, I don't really shoot model photography that much or do really anything in the studio, and so you and even Tristan sent me a bunch of photos that were of a model. So again, it was a cool experience being able to be able to edit those photos, which normally I wouldn't shoot unless it was in a wedding. So it was really cool, and I think the raw files were really fun to play with. You got a lot of color, especially in those first 3 photos. The color in those, like, so cool to play with. So why don't we just jump right into it?
All right.
Okay, so this first one, and so this is your friend or like an acquaintance or something?
Yes, my stepsister.
Oh, your stepsister. So easy to just use her. You don't have to go looking for a model to do anything. Okay, so what was this is the raw photo, by the way, guys. So like, what was your thinking in setting up this scene?
Well, this was one of my first attempts at like flash photography in a kind of studio-like environment. So I had my new flashes to try out and my umbrellas to try out, and I also had the gels, so the red and blue, obviously.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of photos that I really like with the contrast of these 2 colors.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to try to make them blend as well as I could. And I wanted to play with the shadows a little bit. So we had the feathers and some accessories to try to play with shadows and with the colors. And it was.
So you added like feathers and stuff to the light, or what?
No, in the 3rd photo, I think you see she plays with the shadows.
Yeah.
With the feathers on her face.
Okay, I was about to say, like, you put that on the light. Oh, okay. But yeah, okay. Duh. It's just, I was editing the photos. She's holding up feathers. Okay. Cool. So, let me show you, I'll show the chat your edit. This is it. Yeah. So this right here is your edit. So going back to this, really brightened up. So what was your goal in like editing this? Like what did you want to do?
I didn't want to change the color much, and also I wasn't as good as I am now with playing with the hues and the saturation and the color. So I didn't change any color temp or hues or anything. I just wanted to like expose the light on her face and everything, right? I didn't do any masking, and I think pretty much every photo that I edited in this shot were no mask, just the sliders and the curve.
The thing I like about this photo is like how soft the background is. Like it just has that subtle gradient from that blue to red versus like how the raw was. You can really see it, but like this, it's just like a nice, just super soft background with it. The face is brightened up just enough. Really nice. Okay, so let me go to my photo that I edited. So I kind of went crazy on all the edits that I did. I know you were watching, but I went pretty crazy on those color curves and stuff. So this is actually when I discovered the color curves, so I was just like really out there with it. So here is the edit that I did. What do you think?
I don't know if it's this one. I had them opened on my side earlier. I think the greens are slightly messed up in the hair, and on the face it looks kind of clipped, like there's less details. I don't know why, because with the curves, I don't remember exactly what you did with the greens, but I remember you were pretty intense with them. So maybe that was like when you do more than one S on the curve, you often lose some details. So maybe that's what happened with the hair. And I was quite shocked with the direction you decided to go with with the green. Looks nice, but I think if you just did the same thing, but maybe more carefully with the with the clipping or the details, that could be really cool. But right now, just because the details, it looks kind of clipped. But if you just maybe brought the highlights brighter, maybe that will bring it in the... I don't know if you see that too.
Yeah, and the clipping right here, as you guys can see, you guys probably noticed from the get-go. But so going to Ludovic's photo real quick. So here's what the light looks like. Okay, so we have this blue light shining down on her face right here and on her hand. And so when I pumped it up in my photo, that's where the clipping came from. And then with the yellow, with the greens, I really separated it out in curves. And the reason why I did that is just because I know art is like completely subjective, of course, but technically speaking, Ludovic's just on point with everything, with the clipping and stuff like that. Even the greens, it's just kind of unnatural, because I really separated that out of the color tones and stuff. As you can see, when I was editing it, I was just like, I kind of thought it was really cool that you can bust out like this red, this yellow, and this green. And so for here, like, oh, thank you, Random11, for the follow. I appreciate that. Here in Hawaii, like red, yellow, green is like a very popular kind of color. I don't know if you ever listened to Bob Marley or like, see anything that's like Rastafarian kind of stuff. But those kinds of lights are really cool. And I was like, that's what it reminded me of. So I was like, I'll just go for it. I like how you could pull this yellow and this green out. But if I could edit it again, I would pay attention to this, because even though I was able to bring out these greens and stuff like that, the clipping, I could have dialed that down. And so what's cool is that, like, with your light setup, Ludovic, is that you're able to get these kinds of colors on the model and really brighten her up and like create something really artsy and stuff like that. So I definitely went a bit overboard with that. But on the same side, like your light setup and everything like that is really cool. And I think I don't think I cropped it down. I think this is actually a really good composition that I just left it. But yeah. Anyways, awesome.
And just one thing to say about I picked those photos because they were so... Well, it's a different kind of editing that you do with some intense colors like this. And same thing for the photos, because technically on the camera, every pixel, the greens are practically not used. It's just the red and the blues that are utilized in the sensor. And when you edit, it's kind of the same. If you use the blue or the red or the green curves, every pixel is either like mostly on the reds or on the blues. So it's just the editing is quite special. And if you look at the Luma range, it's always going to be kind of messed up because it's always high contrast. So the Luma is not as great. And so yeah, for the editing, it's like something, it's like a niche of editing when you're so intense in the colors like that. So I thought it could be interesting and different, and like, different kind of editing to do. So the thing that you did with the green curve, I think in some more normal photos that could work. But in this one, since there's no green and it's hyper saturated in either red or blues, I think it's not the best case to try that too. I think if I would try to do the same the goal you wanted to do, I just use maybe like the selective color editing. So you could pick, for instance, some of the dark blues and the dark reds, and tell them to shift hues toward the greens.
Yeah.
So like go with the brightness instead of. But I think it's mostly what you did too with the curve. But I don't know with the greens, it's not. I don't know. The curve on the greens and that photo just worked weird.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. I love it. I'm learning a lot from you and things to pay attention to moving forward. Okay, so on to the next photo. So now we've got the model. Oh, you are right there, smack in the front. So let me do this. I'm gonna switch you over real quick. I'm gonna bring you off to the side so that people can see you. All right, better. Okay, so here is the next photo. So here's the raw, everybody. What I like about this is how clear this is, man. Like you could probably just like maybe just crop this part out with this stray light here, and you can just export it as a JPEG. Like I think it's that good, like well lit and everything. Because a lot of these colors and stuff like that you would do in post processing, but you did everything like as is with the lighting and everything like that. So good job on it. Okay, so before I get to my photo, we will show yours. And here it is. And let me go one more time back to the raw. And one more to yours. So brightened up a lot, but the reds pretty much stayed constant the whole time. So tell us what your goal was with this one and what you're aiming for.
So I guess what I did is just I color corrected the photo. Because I know with not every camera brand can do this, but I know with mine I can just basically shoot at 200 ISO, and the photo is going to be fine every time. So I could underexpose from 3 stops and it should be fine. So since I know that the intense colors tend to mess up the exposure, and I can underexpose as much as I want, I just went ahead and underexposed like 1 stop. So in the edited version, I just brought that up and color corrected. Yeah, and also one thing to note is I'm not that strong on Photoshop, and that's one thing that really bothers me with that photo. Is just the 2 little things that should be Photoshopped, like the splatter on the wall on the top. And
I did notice that.
Yeah, and the black side on the right. I just wished so much that I did that all right in the shot for the right side, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so yours looks great, and compared to mine's like way out there, and so I really try to push it again. So here is mine. Again, I don't know if there's that much of an intense amount of clipping, if there's any at all. Maybe it's like getting there on the fingers, but not so much here. I know when I was editing it, we were talking about how mine gave off this real like 60s 70s vibe with the color grade, and I kind of like, honestly, what I'm getting from this is Carrie. You ever watch that movie, that horror movie Carrie?
Yeah, but I don't remember that look.
It's the scene where she has blood spilled on her, and it's like all over her face and stuff, and then there's like a picture of her where she's like lit up with like a camera flash, but that's kind of like the vibes I'm getting from here. So let me go to yours real quick, and then back to mine. So the reds, I definitely desaturated a lot and took out the punchiness of that deep red that you've got in your edit. Mine's a bit more flat and more on like the pink side. I also went into the eye and I lightened them up just a tiny bit. not too much, especially the one in the back here, because it would have looked uncharacteristically weird if this eye was lightened up, even though it's in shadow. So I think I did 2 layers for the eyes. No, I did 1 layer, and I just upped it just ever so slightly. But the blues on the face and on the hair, I lightened up a lot. I brightened it up a lot. As you can see on yours, it's looking normal, but mine is just like really bright. What do you think?
I really like the style you went with this one. It's like so neon. So I like how they match together, the colors. And I think with when I do my edits, I tend to look as much at the graphs than at the photo. So I try to really punch and get the as most highlights as I can, and punch in the dark. I tend to straighten out the dark as low as I can, except if it's a specific look I want.
Yeah.
And that's just how I edit my photos, with a lot of graphs and more of that than just looking at it. And I think you're not doing that as much or at all.
When you're editing, you have that what is that called? The thing.
This vector scope. Yeah.
Yeah, vector scope or spectroscope?
I think it's vector scope.
Okay,
not
vector
quite
scope.
sure.
Okay.
And yeah, it just the red on the shadow and the left side of her face, I find a little bit too washed out, too bright, and I could see them less saturated as you did, but maybe just to darken them a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks that, but yeah.
No, I mean,
and same thing for
comparing it to your photo,
the right.
like, yeah, the darks here. So this right here, if you watch, so go back to your photo, you'll see the details of the feather a lot better, and it's a lot more there. Like you said, with the washed out, it's not as strong there, and I totally see that. I feel like if I were to do this again, probably, like, I love the pink and the blue. Maybe darken the red a bit, you know, and being able to bring in those like contrast, the highlights there.
And same thing with the blues on the right side of her face. I think it's like 80% or maybe 90%. If you would just bring that to 100 and to make it pop, it's gonna brighten the saturation a little bit more too, I think. So it's just like a slight edit, like brighten up the right side and darken the left side a bit. But like I said, I love the color themes that you picked with that.
Nice. Yeah, this one was really fun to edit. And then the next one that we're gonna go to, here is the next one. This one was really cool because you had this element right here where the feather, you know, her eye is like right between the two shadows. And so that's immediately drawing your attention. You know what I mean? Let me zoom out here. Okay, so we will go to your photo real quick. And there it is. Let me go back to the raw. And back to yours. So I noticed you didn't do too much in this area. You left it as is, but the background certainly brightened up a lot.
Yeah, like in the other ones, it's mostly just color corrected. I shoot almost all the time a little bit underexposed, so I just adjusted that and that's it. Didn't do much
so
else.
you set your ISO and then you stop it down like 2 or 3.
Yeah, and with flash is always different too, because you take the photo and like you can see on the Instagram before you take the photo where it's gonna be.
Did you post these on Instagram?
Maybe one or two, but no, not most of these.
Did your sister like these photos that you did for her?
Some of them, but I know she didn't like some other of them, so yeah, that's why I didn't post them.
Oh, okay. So we'll go to mine. Boom. And so I really went to town with those greens, bringing them out again. To me, like as soon as I started playing with the color curves and I saw that I could kind of separate those greens and bring them out, I really like that kind of pearlescent kind of look and feel to it. Let me go back to yours on the background here. It's got that real nice red, blue, and then like that darker blue. Mine, I really like pumped in those greens all around. So it's almost like you ever looked at a pearl and then you saw like all like the different colors and stuff like that. That's how I just kind of imagined your background, which I think is so cool, dude. Like when I was editing, I was just like, dang, dude, I would love to set up something like this and do some like self-portraits or whatever with this kind of lighting and stuff. I think I darkened it more on this, and now that I'm looking at it, it's just really got this like purplish kind of like look to it, which isn't that nice. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks kind of weird. Going back to yours, not so bad. It's not so purplish. It's a bit more normal like. But yeah, so what did you think overall?
No, actually, it's I like the difference that yours has. Compared to mine, I prefer your version of this one. And the critique I had for the former two, you didn't do these mistakes on this one, so there's no really clipping, and the green just adds some texture on the shirt, and I really love that. And even you punch you up the contrast a little bit more, so the face, you can see some accent on her cheekbone at the right of her eye, and maybe it's a little bit dark on my other screen. It's brighter, so I can see like just some light blue beside her eye, and I like that. And I like there's a little bit more contrast, and I think it fits great.
And one thing too, compared to the other one, the red isn't as washed out as the other one. It has a bit more color, but it's still on like the pink slide or the pink scale, because yours, like I look at yours and yours is still, it's got like that redness to it. So on that red, I did kind of slide it over to the pink a bit, but I definitely upped the saturation on it, so it didn't get too washed out compared to the other photo that I did. So but awesome, dude. I'm glad to hear it. Hey, we got one that passed, guys. Okay, now on to the next one. So this photo was very different from the other ones you sent, and so this was at a volleyball match you were at. What was going on here?
That's the summer event of my city, and it's there's shows and activities for a week, and they blocked the main road, so that was on the main road. And the sand is actually it's supposed to be the road, and so, and
that's sick.
One of the team leader of that volleyball team was my school person I knew in school. And so she organized actually the event for the volleyball, and she asked if I could take a few pictures of the event. So
that's your school teacher?
No, my school friend, like.
Your schoolmate, like a peer.
The one at the back, yeah.
Oh, the one in the back. Okay. Okay. So, hold on. I guess I didn't add my photo to it. Weird. Let me add it real quick. So this sand was all imported, yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. Got it. I'm using PowerPoint more in my life than I ever did in school. Okay. Okay, so here is your photo. So you really zoomed in on her, which is a great subject, I think. A good focal point. And I love this perspective that you got shooting down the net. And like the focus on this is so dead on. It's so, as Andreas would say, crispy. Very crispy, the focus. But yeah, tell us what your goal was in editing this.
So yeah, I just while I was shooting this, I just saw the spot and the shadows that the net was doing, and they were always so intense at the front. So I just tried to get one shot where it was intense at the front and with the shadows playing nice. So that's what I was trying to get. And I just found that there was the person at the back was too much of a distraction. So I just dropped that out. Same thing for, well, just the top right wasn't helping that much and all that. And for that edit, I had a really hard time doing it because the sun was so harsh and I didn't know quite what to do with the lighting. So I just struggled trying to do something and accent on the shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
nice.
Just to be clear, I had so much struggle with the harsh light that I don't like my edit that much on this one. On all these photos from the volleyball event. So yeah, I just tried to do something.
You know, one thing that you said, or there's a couple things that you said that, like, I mean, I've never really shot a volleyball match, you know, no sporting event really, but it's cool that you kind of have that mind of like paying attention to those details, like the shadows. So like if you were at this game and shooting this, being able to catch these shadows, I mean, these shadows weren't there the whole day. Like this is a certain period in time of the day where the sun is at a certain angle casting shadows like this. So I think, you know, you being able to catch that and see that, you did really well capturing it. Like the shadows are just all across her body, which is really cool. And then, you know, the fact that you were paying attention that the people up front were like the most intense. And so you probably could get a great facial expression from her, which in this scene, it's an awesome facial expression. She's just so focused and like determined, ready. And so the thing about this shot is, yeah, like, you know, there was that other person in the back and, you know, now you have this floating hand. So it's like, you got to pick your poison. Like either you crop in and then maybe even like try and Photoshop that out, which, you know, I think would be, you know, would take some work because you got this texture back there and trying to make it all natural, or you kind of leave it. So I'll go to mine now, and I did end up electing to leave the girl in the background. So I mean, yours is cropped so great. So this one I kind of left it so like her eye is kind of on that intersection of the thirds, and then having this person in the background kind of adding that depth to the photo. But yeah, so what do you think of my edit?
Like you said, I think I would still make the same crop I did before, but I love the colors that you made on this one. And yeah, just like mine is maybe okay, but it's too intense and it's too obvious that I made a lot of editing on it. But yours just looks natural, and I just couldn't make something I liked that looked natural, so I love that.
Did you put a vignette on yours?
I think, yeah. I put a vignette on most of my photos, I think.
Like that's like one thing I noticed. I love I love the color. I love the warmth in this. I feel like it was maybe just like a tiny bit dark around the edges, because like if it's blasting light, like I think that was what I try to do, and like you, I feel like I was at a point where I was like, I don't know what I want to do with this photo, you know, because if I go back to the raw real quick, you guys can see it's pretty bright, and honestly, it's the light isn't too harsh that I've seen before in other harsh lighting settings. You really capture the exposure well, so it was easier to play with. There was no like super bright areas in the image where it was going to be a nightmare to have to recover the highlights or anything like that. So that's a really good thing about this image. So for me, I really just looked for a preset that I liked, the way that it put the color. Her shirt is like that light blue, and so I found this preset that kind of really treated the blue nice. Let me go back to it. Yeah, treated it real nice, adding a bit more like darks and like blacks to it. I can see in yours, the shirt kind of went a tiny bit green, like a seafoam kind of blue greenish thing, but it kind of came with the territory, yeah, because you went warmer on everything. But I do really like your crop. I do. I feel like for me, I would crop it like here and down, and then try and just Photoshop that hand if I could. So then it's just really her, because she really is the focal point of this photo. And to be able to zero in on her expression and the shadows, that's like the coolest part. So yeah. Yeah, good, cool shot. Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah, thanks. I think one thing that I disliked about this is the font, the ads at the back. And I just I'm starting to think about these things more, like managing the background. And I think if I just went on my knee and shot from the ground, maybe I would.
What's up, Taco God? Thank you so much for the hydrate, bro. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's such a good point. I'm sorry, Taco God. I'm down to my last drips here. But that's a good point to pay attention to that. Do you feel like where you were? Do you feel like you could have shifted left so that you were just a bit more straighter down the net to get more of like a side view? So that this would be like this way, and you'd be looking more dead on the side?
I wanted to see the net on part of the photo, so I didn't try to get too close to it. It was a busy spot, so I couldn't move all that much, but I did try a few photos from the other side of the net, and I think they were okay, just not my favorite from that shot.
Okay. What about perhaps even desaturating this green and this blue in a mask? Would that have looked unnatural? Or maybe because I see what you're saying now, because this blue is actually like really bright and punchy versus her shirt, and so it kind of like clashes there, because I do like the angle of like the people looking and stuff like that, but I wonder if maybe if you did like a little light mask of like a little light desaturation to like take the punch out of that sign.
Yeah, I don't know, and that and the orange also in the crowd. I know I tried to do something about that and desaturate the background, but it didn't work all that much. So I'm thinking it must not have been looking very natural when I tried.
Yeah, I noticed too now that I'm looking at mine where the sign is. So this green got a bit desaturated, but this blue definitely got pumped up. If I had to desaturate, because if you look at yours, your green is like a bit more saturated. So this didn't look too unnatural. It looked pretty okay. Kind of fits with the whole background look. But yeah, that's a cool thing to think about. I mean, I know we always watch our backgrounds and watch for people and stuff like that, but even signs, sometimes signs can be distracting, and maybe throwing a little mask or an adjustment brush and just desaturating the color of a sign or something could really help your subject pop out. So, man, good stuff, man. Any final thoughts before we go on to the last photo?
Nope, that's fine.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so this next shot, what's the story behind it? This is the raw, guys.
So that was well, once again, my stepsister. We couldn't do a shoot for I think about a year because she was traveling a lot between Quebec City and Chibougamau, and then she got locked up in Quebec because of COVID.
Okay.
So that was the first week where she could come back to Chibougamau. And that lake, it was melting, so it was the start of spring. And we had about a week or two with the lake in that state. So I just wanted to hurry and try to make some photos while the lake was like that. So we got up for the... Oh, also, I wanted to try some sunrise photos. And that's just in the right angle and the right spot to do that. So it was my favorite sunrise spot to try out.
Yeah, it looks great, and there's so many things about this shot that's so cool, like the smoke from her breath, and then you have the reflection of her, the reflection of the sun. You have this nice texture in the water where it's like got this reflective surface, but it's still rippled, and then the ice. You know, like there's just so much going on that's like this really cool. What is this? Is this a sunburst from the sun? It is, yeah?
What?
Or like a sunspot like on your lens or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you shoot this with a polarizer filter or anything like that?
Nope, nothing.
Nothing. Oh,
I
okay.
tried some lens hood, but maybe if I had it's a cheap lens hood, so maybe it could have helped with the sun flare, but I don't know. I just shooting at the sun like that, I don't think I can do much.
Okay, so nice, the sun flare. I mean, that's the only thing. I was like, oh, what is that? Is that a breath? No, that's not a breath. Okay, so let me go to yours. I know you sent me a bunch of edits. I just chose one. So I thought this was your main one, right?
I don't know. I really just, that was
you
my
didn't know what to do?
one. But yeah, actually, I posted that on Reddit. On I think it's post-processing, the subreddit.
Oh.
And I just asked people if they liked it. And just every person that responded just told me that they didn't like it. So I ended up posting another version, I think, on my Instagram. But I really liked that version.
Oh, did you send me that other version also?
Yeah, I sent you, I think, one that was like normal mostly.
Let me see if I can pull that up too, because I definitely would like to show that. You like this one, Brian? Brian likes it.
Nice.
It's definitely out there in terms of like colors and stuff like that compared to the raw image. This one, I think out of all the images that we looked at, this one's one that you really went out there on it. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I do see the other one. Let me get that on here too, so that people can see. Because this one has that like faded look, like a vintage kind of faded look to it. Let me I've got your other one here, and there's a slight difference. Viscous, what's up, man? Or Viscous. Thank you for the follow. We are, if you guys just joined the stream, we are hanging out with Ludovic. He is a good friend of our stream, follower, mod. He's out here with us, and he sent me a bunch of photos to edit through. And now he's critiquing me on how I edited his photos. But this one is his, and I'm pulling up this other one here real fast. Okay, so here is Ludovic's other edit, guys. So check out the difference here. All right, Pawan, we'll see you later, man. Have a good day. hey, take some photos out there, man. We'd love to see you take some cool stuff out there in India. But have a good one. Okay, here's your next one, Ludovic. So it's a lot less dialed down on like that I don't know what you say, like fade or something. I feel like there's like this like let's see, going back to your other one.
This one there's one where there's two that are almost like the raw. And the one that I ended up posting is one where you see a little bit of blue in the lake, and it's not as almost no reds in the photo.
There it is. There it is. You got a bunch of them. Okay, let's see. Ludo.
Yeah.
7. And we'll just duplicate that. Bring this one in. It's cool to be able to see all the different looks that you pulled from this shot. So, all right, here's another edit where you dialed back the reds big time, and it looks a lot more truer to the raw, just a bit more lightened up. So here's the raw again, and here is the other edit. Really bright on the sun. I feel like I could wear sunglasses. The thing's like shining into my face. So yeah, like you said, you can see a lot more blues and more of the purple versus the other ones where it's just tons of red and orange. I mean, I've seen sunsets that
Also like you said, the sunrise was really pink and purple and every color, and I think every like 2 or 3 minutes the scene was changing so much. So like punching in the reds and like getting the photo ultra intense and saturated and red wasn't that much not natural, because it really was super colorful, and maybe I did it more than the natural was, but still it was very red in the real scene.
Okay. Yeah, in each photo, like on this one, I see like this fade haziness. You definitely dialed back the reds. This one, things are a bit more contrasted and sharper with the water and stuff. It's kind of cool that you kind of zoom in and can see more details of her.
That was the Instagram crop. Yeah.
This one's the Instagram?
Yeah.
Nice. And then this was your first one. So here is the edit that I did. Right off the bat, so I tried to really bring in like the clarity and the structure, so it didn't give you too much of that hazy look. Everything's a bit more sharper, darker with the blacks on the trees here and in the water. What'd you think?
I love it. I tried in my like more red photo to punch out the breath, and I think it's my favorite part of that shot, just the cold breath that pops out. But when I tried to make it look more natural, it just couldn't pop out as much as with the heavily edited photo. But what you did is, just upping the contrast, and that makes the accent on the breath while it's still looking quite natural. So I really like it.
Yeah, I mean, this was again with like the other volleyball photo. It was kind of like, like what do I want to do with this? You know, because the sunset photos, they can get real tricky. But I think you captured this really well with the sun shining at you. I know here in Hawaii, like the sun is bright in the morning, And I've caught photos in the morning of like morning stand-up surfers and bodyboarders and stuff, like right at dawn when the sun's peaking and just blasting you like this. And maybe it's a difference of geography for you, like of how powerful the sun is compared to where we are. So that's one thing I noticed, especially since you shot this with no polarized filter or ND filter or anything like that. You know, so you really stopped it down on the exposure and stuff. So I don't know, that's really cool. I like it. I mean, I don't know if I did a mask on this. I think I just found a little film preset and then I adjusted it from there. And then, but yeah, I definitely punched up the contrast and the blacks to you know, make this real detailed and clarified and stuff. So.
And it's nice that you get some of the blues in the water. I think in most of my photos, I lost the blues in the blue tint in the water, but you managed to keep it, so that's cool.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you can still see some down there on that one, and then this one, or you cropped in, of course. And then this one. Yeah, this one's just real light, nice and bright morning. I'd feel like this would be more of like what it looked like in person versus what you caught on the raw. Is that true? Like this is more like what was true to like what you were seeing?
I think, but like I said, I think it was really like a pink sun and pink sky. So I think it was kind of a mix between like the more natural looking and the red photos. But I know it wasn't that intense, but it was something between the two, I think.
Yeah. All right, Ludovic. I don't have a slide with all of your photos in one, so I'll just kind of click through. Overall, how did you feel about the edits?
Really good. Some of them, I think, were technically a little bit well failed or just with a bit of mistakes. But I love that the concept was always, I think, a great idea and quite inspiring to just help me try new things. And on a lot of them, the edits I think are well, just better than my own or a good alternative to my own. So I'm just, it was great to see something different and great to see something better sometimes. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot. I mean, I can't use the excuse of, you know, being a newbie in Capture One to stop, you know, because I knew what I was doing. You know, I was really pushing it with those first two photos, especially having found the color curves tool and, you know, doing that all in Capture One. One thing I noticed, by the way, in Capture One is all the photos that I exported from there came out really sharp and like crispy and detailed. And maybe it's because like when I was editing, the preview of it in the software wasn't like the full resolution. And it's kind of in the same with Lightroom, when like I'm editing in Lightroom, the photo doesn't look as crisp, but then when I export it, and I know that's a setting I could totally adjust, but that's one thing I noticed big time with this, with the clipping and stuff like that. But you know, those are things that I know not to rush through, definitely in the future. And one thing I've definitely learned from you is to take your time with your colors. You know what I mean? Like take your time with your colors, because you could throw a preset on, which I pretty much did for every photo, right? I did at least one or two, and just pay attention to how it really affects your colors. Because like this one, if I were to go back and edit, I would definitely bring the red back to like how you did here, this beautiful, nice red that you got going on and stuff. So definitely pay attention to those. Another huge thing for me, Ludovic, that you said with the shadows, that's something I want to look for when I'm shooting now, is pay attention to how leaves cast a shadow. So, you know, in my work, doing wedding photography, when I do bride and groom portraits, there's trees everywhere, plants. I try to include them in my photos. So I think next time I'm going to try and find trees that are casting an interesting shadow, and I'm going to try and put the bride, or you know, if it's an engagement shoot, put the girl underneath and try and get the patterns of the shadows and stuff like that. Vanessa, are you okay? Yeah, and then paying attention to the intensity of like the person, of the subject, but the shadows and everything like that. That's a huge thing that I learned about. And then you know, with these kinds of photos, being able to just clarify, especially when you're looking directly into the sun. You know what I mean? You can use a lot of stuff. So, oof! Accidentally pressed buttons while cutting the box. Vanessa, you're freaking me out here. Be careful. Okay, I don't know what you're cutting. Make sure you're cutting anything and everything other than yourself. Please don't. Oh my gosh, freaking me out. But dude, Ludovic, it was so awesome having you on stream today, man. And thank you for coming on. What time is it for you right now? Whoop, you disappeared.
It's approaching 1 p.m.
We're approaching 1 p.m. Okay, let me bring you back here.
And it was also just yet again for the gelled photo, the red and blues. I sent them because I knew that they were really harder and just different to edit than normal photos. So that, well, it's just not the same editing that you do in these than on some light, like a normal white light. So I just sent them for practice, and I knew that they were gonna be different, especially if you never tried something like that before.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know how to say this in English, but I'm gonna send you RAWs in RAW Exchange with these kind of lighting, with the red and blues and super saturated.
Nice.
Because yeah, that's just something different to do, and it's a different way to edit. So I think people may enjoy trying their hand at this. So yeah.
Sweet. Well, dude, I appreciate that, and also you being willing to send more photos into the RAW Exchange for people to try out. So, guys, be on the lookout for that in our Discord. If you guys are not a part of it, or you guys are hanging out for the first time in our channel, there's our Discord link right there. Just click on that, and then you guys can join up and see what we all do. We love to help each other out and to share our experiences in photography. The RAW Exchange is a place where we just kind of share raw files. Like I shared one yesterday of one of my favorite places in Hana, of a waterfall. So I'm excited to see what you guys do, and then you guys just post it up in the Discord channel so we can see what you guys did and stuff. But Ludovic, thank you so much, bro. I mean, the last couple weeks you really stepped up big time. Like, I appreciate you being willing to help mod the channel and be a mod in the Discord, and you've always been super helpful to me. You've always got these cool little gadgets and softwares that you use that I think it's an awesome tool, and you know, a lot of people in the channel will benefit from your knowledge. And it's kind of crazy because you said that you started photography in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you're like skyrocketing, bro. Like you're learning so much and doing so much already for just being 2 years into photography. It's crazy.
Thanks. And yeah, just thank you for having me, and thank you for the great community. It's really I'm glad that I found the Light Den Academy.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate that, dude. I'm stoked that you did as well, and you know, we just keep on moving forward from here, and you know, continue to grow and to learn and all that stuff. So, all right, chat, give it up for Ludovic. Thank you so much for spending an hour or so with us. It was really fun. And so also our talk here is going to be thrown up on our YouTube channel. So we'll kind of edit little parts here and there. But yeah, for the most part, I appreciate it. And I told this to Andreas too, but what I want to do, if you're willing, is I would like to send you like 4 or 5 images, have you edit them, and then maybe I can bring you back and then do like a little opposite thing. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah? Okay. I'll put some images together for you, send them out to you, and then when you're done with them, just let me know, and then we'll get you back, and then, we can do the same, but opposite. It'd be really cool. All right.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Ludovic. Again, have a good day. Stay warm, yeah? Is it cold there?
No, it's fine now.
Okay.
We got seriously a good summer. It's not usual, but we got a good summer.
Yeah. Oh, and awesome job, by the way, on those comet photos, guys. If you guys haven't seen the photos that he posted of Comet Neowise, the guy has a front row view of the comet from his bedroom. And so that's pretty sick. So, guys, check out the Discord. Check out his photos that he posted of the comet. You guys will be inspired. All right, Ludovic, thank you so much again, man. I'll see you later.
Yep. See you.